All right, so here we go. Part two is Quicktime Pro, and essentially you go to apple.com and download Quicktime. You probably have a version of it already, and then you go buy the Pro version. All you need is the Quicktime Pro to convert it, and what we convert is what's on my memory card here from my camera, and there are lots of images here, and some of them are of crows or lizards. Let's see, there's a lizard in my backyard that got my cat's attention. It was so fun, his reaction today. He looked at the window and chattered his jaws. I have no idea what's going on. He's looking out and there was this lizard. Um, and one thing I also did is took some pictures of clouds because we are no longer burning in San Diego. Well, there's probably still a few hotspots, a few fires, but the bulk of it is much better. I was able to drive my car without air conditioning. Didn't need the air conditioning, didn't miss the fact that it's not working in the first place. And so I realized it's really cooling off. What I want to do though is start taking one of these clouds patterns. Let's see, this one maybe. Actually, not the cloud pattern, rather the video. Now, I don't know if I took a video of those. Maybe we need a video of something else. We got some bunny here. No, that's a screw on the ground. There's people driving in cars. Every once in a while, there's something noteworthy. People skating. There's some fires. Let's not focus on that. That's sad news. Oh, that's a JPEG. Maybe there's a video of that one. Okay, so let's go play that one. That maybe, yep, that's it. Right, very shaky. And I was actually doing that firestorm. As you can tell, it was very windy. And so here's an example, a classical example, a movie file. Let's not change the size. There you go. So here's a movie file, and I want to open that. There it is. Right, I want to open that video file and convert it to something that Dogwaffle can import. It could be an AVI or it could be a series of images, and I'm going to show you both. So we'll do an open as, ouvrir avec in French, and QuickTime Player. So you see I have a couple of other programs. Make sure you right click so you know exactly which program is going to open it, and there it is, QuickTime Player. All right, so when it's in the QuickTime Player, this one's a 1080p, so it's fairly high definition, 1920 by 1080, and it's not fitting on my screen, which is something like 1400 pixels. So if I do a Control 1, it shows it at this original size. If I do a Control 2, it's double size. That's not helping. Control 3 is full screen. Well, not exactly full screen. Control 0 is half screen, and then there is Control F, I think, for full screen. There you go. That one also plays it, so obviously we have a little bit of a noise problem there. And what I'll do is, we could resample this to a different size. Let's just export it at Control 0 at half the original size, right? Just for the sake of brevity here. So how do we export that? Convert it rather. So what we use is the export function, Control E, and that function will let you go into. Let me create a folder. I already created an empty folder, and what we'll do is we'll export into that. Now we can export it to a different format, right? That's exactly where you get to choose the format, and it doesn't have to stay a movie file. Your camera recorded it as a movie file, probably with H.264 encoding, and that's great. That's a great format to have. But if now you want to have individual images, save it out as image sequence. So there are some formats here, and one of them is séquence vers suite d'image. So that's an image sequence or a sequence of image files. Make sure you click on options and indicate what format you want. I would try something lossless, because I mean the video is kind of shaky and probably lossy to begin with the compression that it got. It might be H.264, but probably lossy. and at that point you will want to not add additional loss or additional fluffiness or blurriness or whatnot. So try to keep it maybe as a TIFF, and there's a couple of playback speeds to choose from. Might go with optimal or probably kind of built-in or default. I think it's 2997, but you can change that. And really, it's an image sequence, for crying out loud. It's probably not going to make much of a difference if you record it, because it's not going to skip frames, at least not to my knowledge, and it better not. I think what it's doing is, you know what? I don't know what it's doing here. Why is it asking me for a frame rate? But maybe that's what it is. Maybe it is indeed saying that it can take every 1 out of 5 pictures and give you an average of those, or something like that. That's really stuff for another tutorial, though. So let's not explore that and just leave it as the optimal or something around 2997 or 30ish, because I'm pretty sure I record at that when I use my Canon camera. And what I'll do next is to indicate the options for my TIFF. That's where you want to really spend time. That's where you want to make sure that you set the colors to have optimal color depth or bit depth. You don't want it 16 gray unless it is to be that, right? Or four gray colors, black and white. Yuck. I mean, it's great sometimes if you need just the outlines or the silhouettes, but generally, also don't stay at 8-bit color or 256 colors. Stay in the millions. And if you do have an alpha channel to carry along as well, not from my camera, but if it was rendered from 3D, you might have an alpha channel carrying some information too. In that case, make sure you use millions plus. All right, so I'm going to go with millions of colors, and pack bits, that's the compression. No compression. That'll be big files. Pack bits at least will try to give some sanity there on the file size. Make each file a little bit smaller, and then we can copy that. And I think that's pretty much ready to go. Let's go and save that, and let's call it number 3, and it will add a sequence number to that: 001, 002, 003, 004, and so on. So let's go and save that right there. All right, so that's basically the magic that you can experience when you use Quicktime Pro, because you can now export to other formats. I don't think you need. I think you need the Pro version to do that. I've had the Pro version for so long, I don't remember. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's, exporting and saving and so on. The other thing, though, sometimes you have a long clip and you only want a small portion of it. Right? So I wanted to show you that you can not only scrub through that on the top indicator here, the top marker, you can scrub through to the exact frame you want. And if you need more granularity, at least one thing you want to do is make it bigger here. But you can also go and take the bottom in marker and out marker. Those markers will allow you to select on a particular portion. So let's say, for instance, you are looking for a portion like this here, and you say, I don't know, from about here it's nice and crisp. Let's click down here below it to make our in marker start at that point, and then grab the out marker around here, and you want to cut just this. You want to cut away the stuff around it. And normally when you control X, it will cut this part that you have selected on the timeline. You don't want that. You want the opposite. So one thing you can do is cut it, but it doesn't delete it. It puts it in a clipboard, or it marks it, and then you can paste it back in to replace what's left. Right. So let's do a control X, and you have those under editing also here. Right. So you can control X to cut, and now you're left with what was on the left and on the right side, and you do a control A and you replace it with what's been cut, and that's currently in the clipboard. So you control V, and the entire, oh, okay, well, that's not it. Undo. I guess I need to go and select the entire range maybe, and then control V. There you go. No, now it's at the end. Oh, I don't know. It's somewhere around there. Maybe I need to grab this right one here, move it here, take the left one, and then delete that. There are a couple of different ways to do it. Delete, of course. So let me go back to that. All right, so we had this selection here. right? I select this part, Control X, there you go. Now Control A to select it all, okay? Then the delete key to delete that entire clip, and the clip is empty, but the viewer is still there, right? And now Control V to paste the short clip that we had pasted out. And it shows just that. So Control 0 to show it half size, and now it's a very short clip. Okay, so that one's 1 second, barely, right? So I have probably about 30 frames to save here. All right, so that would be one way to work with a long clip from where you want to just identify and cut out a small portion and then save that out as an image sequence. I first showed you how to do the image sequence, and then how to actually perhaps zoom in on just a portion of the entire timeline and get that. In fact, I'm going to do that here too. I'm going to go Control 3, make it as big as possible given the size of that screen, and then I'm going to go again Control E or export, and I'm going to have it in the same folder, and this one is going to be small or short. This is the short version, short, and it's going to be an image sequence. Let's make sure it's still the same parameters, same options, pack bits and millions of colors. Ready to go, let's go. So now we have, this export should be really fast because we only have about 30 frames, and there it is. All right, and so we can now actually go into the folder that contains that sequence. That would not be this one. This is the original camera sequence. Let me see, I think I have it here somewhere. Probably here now, yeah. So yeah, there it is. Okay, so we have TIFF images. We can zoom in to see them in their thumbnails, and here is that animation. There's the first save that I did that has more images, about 100 or so, 200 maybe, and then the short one is right here, starts around here, short 3 there. So we have, how many frames is it? Let's see, there is, where's the first one? There's short 1, and it goes to short 25. Wow, only 25 frames. All right, so very short, as the name indicates, and that shows how we can export, convert a video file that's in QuickTime or in movie format, or maybe even MP4 as the frame holder, you know, and whatever the codec is inside, have it converted and extracted to a sequence of images, which you can use in so many different ways, not just in Dogwaffle. That's going to be anytime, you know, in Carrara, in 3D, any 2D compositing, Anime Studio, whatever. You're going to want to have at times access to the individual frames of the video or the image sequence. You may want to have them interlaced or de-interlaced. You may want to change the color, turn them into a mask, all sorts of different things to do. And some of that, of course, in Dogwaffle. So that will be the focus of the next training.